Good morning, everyone. My name is Devin Wilcox, and I'm here with Subaru of America to talk about our certified collision program that we have. On stage today, I'm here with John Beaumont and Dennis Smoyer of Wadsworth International, who are our support team behind the certified network. There we go. So why am I here today? I said I'm here to present on the certified network for Subaru. But really, what does that mean? So the situation today is that Subaru prides itself, the brand, on the safety of our vehicles. And these vehicles, when involved in a collision, require very thorough repair and it has to be of quality. Our customers have come to expect that over the longevity of owning their vehicles. So the objective of my presentation today is to provide an understanding of what it takes to be part of the Subaru collision network and what we expect of our certified collision facilities who are repairing our vehicles. So what I'll show you today is a high-level review of the certification requirements, as well as an understanding of how the certification process and how the audit takes place for the facilities. And what I won't show you today is the platform that we use. Really, it's going to be a high-level understanding of the program and what we expect of our facilities. So the one question that we always ask is why? Why? Yeah, okay, Devin, great. You gave me a great understanding of why you're here today, but why does it really matter at the end of the day? And what I always like to start off with is a cool little story to probe it. So to begin, these are my kids. They've never been in a car crash before. They've never had to deal with that, thankfully, because I drive a Subaru, so we never get in crashes as it is. But one thing that they do love is their Legos, all over the house. Legos everywhere, all sorts. Including a nice 2020 Subaru Ascent Lego, in case anyone's interested. And what happens is that these Legos get all over my house, and eventually they end up in the pile. And there's the pile. Well, Dad, I want to rebuild my Lego motorcycle. All right, well, where'd you put the instructions? I don't know. Where did Natalie put the instructions? I don't know. Where did Andrew put them? I don't know. Well, we got to rebuild it. How are we going to rebuild it? Well, thanks to the advent of homeschooling last year, my kids know how to use the Google machine really well. So they go online, let's Google how to rebuild a Lego motorcycle. And up pops this first website, bricksinstructions.com. All right, well, that's a good start. We can look into that website and see what we can find. But wait, what's on the bottom here? Lego is a trademark of Lego Group, which does not sponsor, authorize, or endorse this site. All right, that's not the factory website. We're going to go to a different one instead. Let's see what Natalie can pull up instead. What does Natalie find? Natalie finds the LegoGuide.com. All right, that seems like it could be legit as well, but same deal across the bottom. Disclaimer, this site does not sponsor, authorize, or endorse this site. All right, let's try the obvious. Let's go to Lego.com. Let's go to Lego.com. Well, holy cow, there it is, building instructions right at the top. Let's punch in the number for the Lego motorcycle, and up pops a downloadable PDF, a visual of it, and guess what? These instructions are also updated. So when they print the first pamphlet and put it in the box, maybe things change. Maybe there's different parts, maybe a different, better way of putting the motorcycle back together. It's pretty awesome. And even on top of that, Lego has such great resources from customer service. I lost a brick broke. I want to order more bricks. Here's a great way to get your Lego parts back for your Lego car. And even further, they have support for their software. There's so many cool apps and downloads for Lego toys that you lose it in your iPad, you lose it in your iPhone, but you have great support for the software as well. Well, now my kids and I go down this wormhole of Lego on their website. What else can we learn about Lego? Well, Lego has this great thing where top 10 toy brands in the United States, guess who's number one? Lego, obviously. So we keep going down now the awards more and more. What else do we have here? So the Toy Association of America announces the 2021 Toy of the Year award winners. Out of 16 categories, Lego has not one, not two, not three, but 4 separate awards in the Toy of the Year awards. That's incredible. 25% of the toys awarded in 2021 were Lego brand. That's pretty fantastic. So, next. There we go. So, all right, Devin, this is great. Kids are cute. Legos are awesome. I get it. What does this have to do with Subaru and the Certified Collision Network? Well, I'll answer that question. This is Mary Latham. Mary Latham owns I think it's a 2003 Subaru Forester, Subaru Outback, that she drove across the country, 50 states, visiting in over 250 homes to understand she has this whole idea of more good. I talked about her briefly yesterday. I encourage you to look her story up. It's called moregood.com. Also, here's Bill Stokes. Bill Stokes rebuilt his 2002 Subaru RS. Pretty awesome. This is Joe Palicki. Joe Palicki takes his 2020 Subaru Forester cross country and camps in it. This here is Garrick and Chuck, who like kayaking. This here is Nicole, who takes her car to go mountain biking in the Pacific Northwest. These people love their car, not just because it's four wheels and an engine, but because of the lifestyle that it imbibes with it, which kind of goes back to the whole Subaru, the reason of Subaru. Subaru is this great brand that, here we go. We essentially have three core pillars of the brand. Our vehicles last forever. You see them all the time on the road. We have the Million Mile Club, where you have people who have 500,000 miles on their odometer, and they're so proud of all those miles. Subaru also prides itself on the adventure versatility. Like I was showing in those photos just now of all my friends, the Subaru vehicles can take them anywhere they want to go. It's an active lifestyle vehicle. And most importantly, also the reason why we're here today is about the vehicle safety. Subaru vehicles are some of the safest on the roads. And not just from us saying it, but we also have the third-party accolades. So IHS awards all of our vehicles with EyeSight, our ADAS system, an IHS top safety pick. We also have superior ranking in the front crash prevention. And the American Customer Service Index ranked Subaru #1 in the mainstream mass market for the second consecutive year. And let's not just talk about the third-party accolades, but owners themselves pride Subaru on how safe the vehicle is, regardless if it's using our ADAS systems to help prevent a collision, or when the unfortunate collision does happen, we get handwritten notes from owners all the time of how safe the Subaru was and how it saved their family. And so much so that for the third consecutive year, J.D. Power awarded us #1 in brand loyalty among automotive brands. And now the great thing about the brand itself, our owners love their vehicles, they stay in them forever. So, okay, great. We talked about Legos. We talked about Subaru as a brand and the outdoorsiness and the safety and the longevity of the vehicles, but why does that matter to the Certified Collision Network? Well, Subaru has a family of owners. They're passionate, they're loyal, they stay with the brand forever. We also have this great family of vehicles that our owners expect to take them to the next level in their life. And where it all comes together, here we go. So, and they love their vehicle. And it's that love that eventually, every 6 years, a Subaru is involved in a collision. And when that collision happens, the customer wants to be back in their vehicle as quickly as possible with the same expectations of the safety, of the longevity, of the adventure and versatility they had before the collision. Which is where, here we go. That's what spawned the Subaru Certified Collision Network. And it was based on those ideas that our customers want a safe, long-lasting, adventurous vehicle that we created this program. And we have the same expectations of our facilities that are on the network to meet those needs of our customers. So during our network is essentially based on 5 pillars itself. Oh wait, hold on. I missed that slide. Oh, wait, okay, excuse me for 1 second. There we go. So going back to that brand loyalty piece. Subaru being #1 for brand loyalty 3 years in a row. And that's not just in the vehicle purchase life cycle, but how long they keep their Subaru for, and the awareness of the brand itself. So the next slide here, what I'm showing here is a data set that we got from CCC of repairable Subaru collisions. So that's the light blue bar. Dark blue bar is reportable repair orders we've had from our network itself. And from the launch of our program in 2018, we saw about 8% market penetration, so to speak. And over the 3 years we've been around, we've grown to 11% market penetration, meaning more than 1 out of every 10 Subarus involved in a collision was fixed at one of our facilities. And that's just from customers' own awareness of the certified network. So, great, Devin. This is fantastic information. I love the brand. I love the vehicles. I love fixing them. I want to be in the network. How do I do it? This is where I'm going to actually pass the baton over to, do you want to take it from here, John? And we'll pass it over to, yeah, so this last slide here is actually our 24-page participation agreement, which gives you the nuts and bolts of how to be in the certified network. We're not going to go through this right now. If you have interest, please reach out. I'll give you an email address at the end, as well as a website you can log into to apply to be part of the network. But this gives you the nuts and bolts and the finite details of how to be in the network and what the requirements are. But to that, I'm going to pass it off to my colleague. You want to take it from here? Okay. So the participation agreement itself is based on 5 core pillars I was kind of mentioning before. The first one being training. We require all of our facilities to be ICAR Gold. Also focuses on equipment and tools. So we validate to make sure not just that you have a torque wrench, but the torque wrench has been calibrated and is not expired. We also validate that your facility is to the same specifications that we require. Do you have adequate lighting? Is there adequate space for our vehicles to be repaired? And the next piece is production process. So not just do you have the right facility and the right tools and the right equipment, but are you actually doing it the right way? So we validate to make sure that the vehicles as they're coming in, this assembly is happening correctly and the vehicles are being repaired back to the pre-collision condition. And the final piece that we really hang our hat on is we look into the repair quality. Are you doing test welds? Are you following our repair procedures? Are you doing a pre and post scan on every vehicle? So again, it's not just about having the right thing in the building, but are you actually doing the right thing as well? And there we go. That's where I'm going to pass the baton off to John Beaumont to take it from here.
Thank you, Devon. So we'll go to the how part now. How can we get you enrolled on our network? So ours is a fairly detailed process. We like to really cover all the bases on the front end of this process and make sure that you're fully aware of what you're entering into. So the first step in the process is to go to our website. It's Subaru.com certified collision. There's a QR code there if you'd like to copy it. And we're just going to get some basic information. If you click on the interested in collision, we're just going to get name and address of a facility, who the owner is, and who the key contact is in. Excuse me. Okay, so what we will then do, we're going to send you out via email a candidate profile. We're going to ask a series of questions. One is about your lighting levels in the shop. We have our standards dictate you need 700 lumens in the workshop, 1,000 lumens in the paint booth. So we're going to ask you to go through this information and build this up. And as Devon alluded to, training, ICAR is a prerequisite to be on our program. So you need to make sure that you're very close to being on board with that or through your renewal process. Okay, then we're going to be looking at equipment. The majority of our equipment, we tend to go spec-based, but there are a number of Subaru special tools that we'll let you know about and where you can purchase those from. Excuse me. Okay. All right, there we go. Okay, so once you've completed that candidate profile and you digitally sign it, it'll come through to us. And on a weekly basis, the first thing that we will do is we'll do a market capacity review. So we don't take everybody on board. We look at the North American market. We have it broken down by market areas driven around the retailer's area of responsibility. And they're all zip code based. So we have a full-on map with all our Subaru retailer area responsibilities. And within that, we have all our units in operation, so we know how many vehicles are operating in any one of those areas, and we apply a collision statistic to that, and it gives us a number of shops that we think is viable in any one of those markets. And obviously in the major metros, you're going to get a higher number, more condensed, and in the urban areas, there's a less amount. But we do, once a week, we sit down and we map everybody that applies for the shop. And if, when you apply, that the market's full, we'll notify you, but we'll also we keep all those applications to one side and we constantly revisit to see if there's an opportunity when the UIOs go up or somebody else drops out of the marketplace. Whoa.
You just pressed all the buttons.
Did I press all the buttons there? See if you can get that too. Apologies for that. Okay, nearly back. Okay, thank you. So once we've done the market capacity review and there's an open spot in the market, I will actually reach out to the shop via a phone call, and I'll go through your candidate profile. And I'll review all the base equipment questions that we ask, like your welders, your bench, your measuring system, and just ensure that those meet our requirements. And part of that interview is as you filled out that candidate profile online, we gave you access to our resource library, which gives you a blank copy of the participation agreement. It gives you all the special tools that you'll require and everything about the program. So we ask you to acknowledge that you've read that. So I'll kind of review that with people to see how much detail they actually purposed around reading our participation agreement. I'll ask and go through where your ICAR status is to make sure that you're current, and that's not going to be an issue for you. And I'll talk about the special tooling, the approximate cost of that, where it can be sourced. And then we'll also go through the scanning solutions that we require, because we have to use a unit that's using Subaru software. So once we've gone through all that, and you've got to the end of the interview process and you want to move forward, I will send you out our enrollment packet email, which is a clean copy of the participation agreement. We'll ask you to sign that and return it to us. We will then generate an invoice for the program for you, ask you to pay that, and on completion of that, we're going to put you across to the Subaru main profile, which is a lot more detailed. But our objective through this candidate profile is that you're going in with eyes wide open, yeah? That there's going to be no hidden challenges for you as you move along the process. So that's why we've broken it down into a two-stage kind of application, so that by the time you sign and have paid the money, you really understand what it's going to take to get across the finish line. So with that, I'm going to hand this across to Dennis, my colleague, who actually goes through the main profile.
Thank you, John. All right, thank you, John. So once the main profile has been completed and 157 questions have been answered, I review that to make sure that all the information is accurate and compliant. There's a lot of yes/no questions and a lot of questions that require a photo upload, and I go in and verify that the photo is of good quality and it's exactly what we need, because the profile then will feed the audit once we get the audit scheduled. Okay. So once the audit's ready, the profile's ready, we'll send it out to our auditors to contact the shop to schedule the audit. Usually it's anywhere from a week to 2 weeks when the auditor gets it to get it scheduled. And they'll schedule that with the main contacts in the profile. Once the audit is completed, then the auditor will then review the audit with either the owner or the manager to review the gaps, to find out exactly what they need to correct moving forward. And then they go in and show them exactly where the information is in the profile so they can correct it. And also there's an email that goes out to them as well that explains how to correct their gaps. So there's 3 ways to correct the gaps. It's either to upload a photo in the profile, send a photo to the support email, or send an action plan to the support email to correct the gap. So from the time that the gaps and the audit takes place, you have 30 days to close the gaps. And then once all the gaps are closed, if you have any questions, you email the support box, we'll help you out as much as possible. Once all the gaps are closed, then you are active on the Subaru system. You have access to all the repair procedures and marketing material. So we'll go into the on-site audits. So there's 3 types of audits that we do. The first is the enrollment audit, which comprises of all the questions and answers that you put into the profile to review. So that's the enrollment audit, and it takes about 3 to 3.5 hours to complete, based on how organized the shop is and how prepared you are for the audit. Okay. So once after your first year and you come up with your renewal, we have a renewal audit. So the renewal audit it focuses more on the admin piece, on the facilities piece, on some of the Subaru special tools, and then that usually only takes about an hour and a half to complete because it's about 50% of the original enrollment audit, okay? So this is where you have 2 audits a year now after your first year. So you have the renewal audit and the unannounced renewal 2 audit. The renewal 2 audit is also, let me go back. The renewal 1 has more admin, and it also focuses on the repair quality assessment vehicles that we assess as well. The renewal 2 is more of your equipment and tools, and also your repair quality assessment vehicles that the auditor reviews as well, and that's part of that. So the reason why we're doing 2 audits now a year, one's the announced and one's the unannounced, is that in order to close the gaps on a prior audit, you have to send an action plan that you'll use pre and post scans, the correct tool, you'll be using OEM repair procedures. So the second unannounced audit is we're verifying that the action items that you put in place are actually happening, okay? All right, so that's the audits. And again, we focus on the training, the I-CAR training, making sure that your renewal's up to date, making sure that your role reps are up to date and they're actually on site. Hopefully they're on site during the audit. Again, I'll mention, John and Devin already mentioned a lot about the equipment and tools. You know, we verify that the equipment and tools are in good operating condition and they're being maintained properly. And then also the facility. Our auditors go into the facility and look at it from the customer's perspective. They want to see, does the facility need paint? Was the directions good getting there? Do they have any weeds in the parking lot? Do they have a number of parking spots? Are they identified? Do they have a handicap spot as well? So the auditor is looking at all that from the outside, as well as the office, the conditions of the office as well. And then they move into to the body shop and look at all to see the cleanliness of the repair center as well. They're also looking for your production processes. So do you have a check-in procedure? Do you have a in-process quality control? And do you have a pre-delivery procedure as well? And we check files to make sure that they're in there and completed. And then lastly, it's the repair quality assessment, where the auditor will pick 3 vehicles that are in process to check to make sure that you have that right equipment or the right paperwork in the vehicle. You have the pre-scans done already, the repair procedures are in the vehicle, and the in-process QC forms are filled out at the stage of the vehicle that they're inspecting. They'll also inspect the weld quality as well and the placement of the welds, okay? So they pick 3 vehicles to look at. So the other thing, as I said, we'll look at the quality of the welds as well. We want to make sure that you're doing your test welds on the structural repairs, and are you doing your destructive tests, and are you documenting that? We want to make sure that any of these structural repairs are documented. We also look at panel gap alignments on the ready line to make sure that they all look correct. This is an example of one that they had to redo before they delivered it. This was on the ready line. We also make sure what's the shop's PPE policies to make sure that your technicians are working safely. And vehicle protection, are you protecting the interiors with seat covers, floor mats, and as well as the open electrical connectors, are they protected as well using tape? And then following OEM repair procedures. This is one of our biggest things that we always, we train to make sure that you follow the repair procedures, pull the repair procedures prior to you starting the work, As you can see where the cut lines are on this demonstration here, that's on the screen. This was obviously a shop that submitted this that the cut lines went beyond the repair and where the allowable cut line should be, which made this, unfortunately, an unrepairable vehicle. Okay. So that's an example of one. Here's another example that they didn't review the repair procedures prior to starting. The cut lines are way forward than they should be as well. So this is another one that may not be a repairable vehicle. And lastly, if you see from the last photo I showed you, this part came in this way. It doesn't mean that this part goes in the way that it's presented here. You still have to follow the procedures and have the cut lines where the cut lines are supposed to be. So this is from the factory, okay? And that's it. Sorry.
Cool. Thank you both for going through the whole process. So now the big question is, what's in it for me? As a body shop, I'm now interested in the Subaru network. I met the requirements, I have the iCar training, I purchased all the tools, my facility is up to the specifications that Subaru says. Well, what's in it for me? What is Subaru going to do for me to help drive my business, to help me be more profitable, be more successful, have more owners through my facility? Well, there's a lot of great things that we offer to our body shops. One thing is you have access to STIS, or Subaru Technical Information Systems. It's our online database of all of our repair manuals and service manuals. So you get access to that included in your certification. There we go. Let me dial it back. Okay. You also have access to Wadsworth. So the likes of John Beaumont, Dennis Moyer behind me, and their colleague Rick Miller, who are always at their beck and call. What happened? There we go. Always at the beck and call. Always at our beck and call for facilities that have questions or concerns on the Subaru repair procedures. In the bottom left of the screen here, I have a picture of our Certified Collision Center locator that is on Subaru.com. Every facility that's on our network is on this as well. So our owners are becoming more aware of the Certified Collision program, know to go to Subaru.com to find their Certified Collision Center nearest them. We also utilize a CSI agency, SureCritic, and we offer this to every shop as well, included in your certification. So we understand how our customer sentiment is towards your facility. We use this as a coaching tool. So if your facility has deficits or is doing very well in one of the 7 different questions we ask, we use it as an opportunity to coach your facility or the network on what can be done better or differently to better the customer experience. We also work with the company ClaimsCore International, who offers a network performance reporting tool for us as well. We take aggregate repair order data, high-level dates and VIN numbers, OE parts usage, and we use this to help monitor how the network is performing from a very high level. And your shop as well has access to this to see what your touch time and your cycle time and your average severity components can be as well. Subaru really prides itself on its marketing as well, so we have a fantastic marketing suite of assets available for your facilities. Everything from videos that can live on your websites or on YouTube. We have all of our logos, our branded logos for your facility. We also put out a quarterly Subaru Collision newsletter that goes to all the facilities of what's new, what's happening, and the exciting things that are happening in the brand. Also, we do marketing from a tier 1, from a Subaru America perspective. We put out a monthly newsletter to our owners called Insider. And in here, every quarter, we're highlighted in this as well, which drives traffic to our .com locator. We also have these pamphlets. They're an owner collision safety repair guide that go out to our owners at the retail locations at our dealerships across the country. And the other great thing is that you guys get firsthand knowledge of our new vehicles as they come off and they're being released to the public. So as these vehicles, the new Solterra, our new EV coming out next year, we're right now looking into the required tools that your facility may need to help repair EV vehicles. And then the best part of it all is that you have our brand on your window, a brand that customers love and they stand brand loyal to year after year. So bringing this all back home, Subaru, like I said, is a brand about love. Our owners love their vehicles, and when those vehicles are involved in the unfortunate collision, they want that vehicle back to as close to pre-collision as possible to keep their life as adventurous and long-lasting as possible. And it's the families that drive these vehicles that help drive the family of vehicles, and then the family of people that touch them between our sales and service departments as well as your body shops to make sure that the love lasts forever. Also, that Lego car is available online on Subaru.com/gear if you wanted to purchase one for yourself or your facility. And with that, thank you all for your time. We are here to take questions if anyone has anything. Otherwise, the QR code on the screen here will direct you to our Subaru.com collision website where you're able to enroll your facility. Thank you all for your time.